Hey, this is Kiran Nagrar from the Sparking Entrepreneur Show, and today we have Ken Chio with us. Ken is the president of our sales coach. His goal over the next 5 years is to empower 100 local small to medium sized business owners to achieve their corporate vision. Ken, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Kiran. Great to be
Let,
here.
let's begin with it. Tell us about your vision, right? You want to help 100 local small sized to medium sized business owners over the next 5 years. So tell us about the plan. Like, how is it going so far?
Well, it's great. I mean, well, I've got a really good start on it because I've been doing it for 17 years.
Yeah, you.
And yes, and so it's been wonderful, and I've really had the opportunity to work with a lot of really interesting businesses. And right now we're focused a lot on tech and manufacturing companies. So we get involved in businesses that are in a lot of different environments, sales environments, which really keeps it interesting for us.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let's speak about sales. Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are hesitant to ask for a sale, right?
Yes.
So speak about it. Why do people feel so, and how to overcome that?
Yeah. Well, part of what we do is you really need to understand your prospect or your customer's business and their industry. And the more you know about what their marketplace is like, then the more you can really give them relevant information. And that's the key in sales today. Everybody has the ability to go online and do their own research about what they're looking for. So if somebody's searching for some help, they've already done a lot of work on their own. And so you really need to know what's relevant for them. So what we help our clients do is to really ask really good questions, but be pointed, before you even engage, so that by the time you're connecting with a prospective customer, they've already understand that you're relevant, that you understand their business, and then you are able to ask really good questions and listen attentively to what they say, how they answer your questions, so that you can really build that trust. And then there's less pressure on asking for the sale because the
Hmm.
conversation develops and the trust develops over time, so that there's less pressure on having to ask for the sale.
Hmm.
What we do is we help their customers buy.
Wow.
you know we're not helping them sell, we're helping them help their customers buy.
Hmm. And can you elaborate more on it? Like, what kind of questions should be asked? Like, can you tell us how much minute it should take to build a rapport? Is there any formula or timestamps that you use to help your clients achieve more sales and in turn more revenue?
Yeah, it's not as complicated as you might think. However, it requires change in behavior. And there's really four things that you really need to help to really understand, to know what you're dealing with. And the first thing is, what is their compelling reason to change what they're doing? Because if you want them to change what they're doing, and by the way, they may not even be using somebody that does what you do, but you're always competing against the status quo. So
Hmm.
you got to change status quo. It's another provider, or they're not doing what they should do. Whatever it is, what's their compelling reason? So you want to ask questions about that. You want to find out, are they committed to changing? And then how would they make that decision? Who's involved? Who else is involved? How are they going to decide? When they're going to decide? And are they willing to make an investment? And it really only requires an additional 15 minutes to 30 minutes of time to be able to really understand what you're dealing with. And through that process, like I say, you build trust. So it's just really changing that behavioral urge to really jump in and tell people what you do and how great your company is, or how great your product is, prematurely, until you are able to really cover those four things.
Yeah.
And so you really need to have questions about, okay, why would you change? what is going to cause you to change, what problems are you having, and tell me more, but digging deeper into that, so you really understand what's the emotional connection they have to the problem. Then are they committed to changing? How would they decide? And are they willing to invest?
Let's speak about numbers. Okay. So, shall we consider that sales is a number game, or sales is more than a number game?
It's definitely a numbers game.
Mhm.
And you need to be tracking, every part of your sales process, because otherwise, how will you know if you're stuck? Where are you getting stuck? And or even if you're not, and you are getting better, you're improving, how will you know where you can improve the most if you're not tracking things? And so it's all really in a matter of ratios. Okay. So what's your close rate? How many proposals are you doing? What's your proposal close rate? Well, how many meetings does it take for you to really get to your goal? So how many first meetings do you need to have? How many contacts do you need to make a first meeting? And prospecting, what activities do you need to do in which quantities to make sure that you keep your pipeline full? So it's really all about the numbers and how you're tracking it and how you're using that data. You have to be tracking daily. You have to look at it weekly, and you need to adjust monthly.
Wow.
Okay.
If you can speak about social media now, okay, what is your take on social media? Speak about different social media platforms.
Yeah. So, well, I'm on LinkedIn every day. LinkedIn is the biggest professional network in the world. Over 900 million people on LinkedIn. And every Fortune 500 company is there. And it just really helps in sales. It's also transformed the recruiting industry as well. But in sales, you can quickly really learn a lot about a person, their background, and then so I use LinkedIn a lot. Certainly in preparing for meetings, but also in finding the right prospects and really being able to prioritize them based on what's happening with them, so that you are reaching out to people who are most likely to be in a buying cycle. And so that's really helpful to me. I really and I've been training people on using LinkedIn since 2015. By the way, back then there were like about I think 215,000 million people on. It's grown incredibly.
Yes.
And so I think not just social media, but also what you're putting on your website, and how you are how you're creating a personal brand on the World Wide Web, because people will check you out.
Yes, totally. Are you into short videos of any kind, like TikTok? Have you tried TikTok, Reels, YouTube Shorts, anything, any of that kind?
Yeah, no, I'm not really on TikTok. I'm not on Instagram. I do. I mean, there are businesses where, especially if what you do is visual, those are good platforms for people to be on. Also, business to consumer, absolutely. Facebook as well. I do have a Facebook corporate page. We don't do much with it, but I'm not really active outside of LinkedIn on social media.
Got it, got it. And tell us about the best sources, okay, where you think you can reach out to the best platforms, like people. You spoke about LinkedIn. Other than
Yeah.
LinkedIn, there are networking events or any of that kind. Please speak about it.
Well, okay. So, I mean, in terms of prospecting, LinkedIn is by far the best tool, because we're in B2B in our business.
Mhm.
And we are using Navigator as well. Depends on how much you want to use LinkedIn, whether that makes sense or not for you. And we obviously get referrals from our clients,
Mhm.
and we get add-on repeat business from our clients, which everybody should. And then we also have, strategic relationships with companies where we have a very synergistic business. In fact, you and I should talk as well because, I deal with, professional service providers as
Mhm.
well as the manufacturers and tech. So, for example, financial planners, they network nicely with estate planning attorneys, which I know you're very involved with.
Mm.
So I think offline maybe we should talk. And so developing strategic relationships like that. We also speak. We do speaking engagements. Podcasting has really become popular over the last 5 years. We used to do, we used to do live seminars. I speak at events. We did webinars during COVID. So that's also been productive for us. And I also, I outsource a lot of these activities where now with the with AI and the way that software companies have developed sales enablement tools,
Mhm.
there's a lot of opportunity to warm up opportunities for you. And so I have somebody that is prospecting on LinkedIn for me, and I have other go-to resources for doing email
Mhm.
and social combination outreach.
Got it. Got it. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ken. Now
Mhm.
we know more about prospecting. Speak about the best corporate vision. Okay. How to move from being a business, small business, to a corporate vision.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I have clients where they are so busy in the day to day that they don't take time to really sit down and figure out, okay, first of all, where's our best opportunity,
Hmm.
and how much more business can we get, let's say, from our existing customers, and where in which markets we're involved with are our best opportunity, and then make some projections that are based on real market opportunity in terms of new client acquisitions or increased penetration in certain areas, or more business from existing customers in an area. So those things, you really need to, at least on an annual basis, be figuring that out. Then what happens is, your goals are based on real projections that are make sense in terms of new clients and also market penetration. And what does that mean? So I had a client that they sold batteries for movie cameras, and we started working together, and after 6 months they were they wanted to increase their sales by 30%. Okay, so
Hmm.
pretty robust goals. We were 3 months into it, and the owner comes to me and says, we're at 45%. How am I
Hmm.
going to keep these guys motivated? And I said, did you tell them that if they keep at this pace, then they will own a lion's share of the United States marketplace in 3 years? And in
Hmm.
5 years, they will be the dominant player in the world. And before we got started, there was a major player. There was
Hmm.
the go-to company, and
Hmm.
they were really making a big dent in
Hmm.
capturing their market. That's the kind of things that's going to motivate people, and just
Hmm.
showing them the progress they're making towards that goal that have real meaning.
Wow. And how does the the client who is a corporate already, what is the next big thing for them? What can they expect from Ken?
Oh, well, so you know, that that case study I described to you is kind of how we start, really. I work with each individual as well as the company against their own personal goals. So that's where you really start is okay, what do you need? It's not where do you think you can get to? It's what do you need and why? And then we figure out, okay, what's the formula to get there? And you asked about, okay, is it a numbers game? Of course, there's a formula. And you need to figure out that formula. That's the key to really achieving goals, is to chunk them down into the activities that need to happen so that you can keep yourself accountable for doing what you need to do. And then, like he's also mentioned, tracking it so that you know that you're on track. Your formula is what you expected, or you make adjustments. And so that's what we do, is we then train them on the skills that they need to execute on the formula. So what we do is we train and coach our clients over time so that they have the plan, they execute on the plan, and they change the behaviors that need to change for them to really stay on track and continue to grow.
So, final two questions, Ken. First one is, please tell us about the best ways of reaching out to you.
Oh, okay. Well, you can link up to me on LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn URL is Ken Chio, Cheo, and or you can find us. We're at www.oursalescoach, OurSalesCoach.com. And my email is kchio@oursalescoach.com. So plenty of ways
Do
to get
reach
a hold
out.
of us.
Do
Yeah.
reach out, guys. Final question. So, tell us about goal setting. Okay. How to set goals? Does visualization work after setting goals? And to what extent?
Yeah, no question that it works, and if you don't really have a vision, then you're wrong, because you have a vision. Your vision is your current reality. And if our minds really don't care about what our goals are, it only cares about what you expect. And if you don't have a vision for what you expect to happen, then your mind really doesn't have anything to search for. And so you need to think about, again, a lot of times when people start to set goals, they think about, okay, based on my current reality, what I think we can do is this. That's not the right way to set goals. You need to think about, okay, what do I really need and why? And then you chunk it down until you say, okay, this is what I really need. How am I going to get there? Chunk it down to, in using a sales analogy, right? Okay, so what's the average sale? How many customers do I need to achieve that goal? How many meetings do I need to have? Oh, wow, I can never have that many meetings. Well, now you have to make an adjustment. Maybe you need to go after different people, get bigger opportunities, okay? Or, so what is it that you need to do to achieve that? And the other thing is, one of the books I use is written by Jack Canfield. It's called The Success Principles. And in chapter 3 of his book, he has what he calls a vision exercise. And the reason I like it is he asks you to set a vision, a long-term vision, for 7 areas of your life. And what I do is I help people with their business, their career, okay? That translates into another area, which is financial, own personal financial goals. But you also have your health and physical. You also have relationships, families and friends, personal development, community, okay? And so what you want to do is think about, is there any gaps in any other areas? And it does, the point is not, you don't need to have goals in all those areas. But if there's a gap, what happens is these things, they occupy our minds and our energy at times when we want to be focused, we want to be on the top of our game. And if these things are distracting you and nagging at you, set goals there too. So you have balance. You have balance in your life. And so I think it's good not just to set goals for your business and your financial future, but also for other areas where there might be a gap.
Ken, like the kind of experience and kind of knowledge that you have is absolutely mind blowing because, and that's the reason you are in this business. So, thank you so much, Ken, for being on the show. It was wonderful learning about you and your business and the way that uh, people can reach out to you. And thank you so much for the knowledge and wisdom, Ken.
Yeah, thank you. If there's any way I can help you, Kieran, let me know. And maybe we should schedule some time offline just to get to know each other better and see if we can help each other out.
Yeah, Ken, totally. With that said, that was today's episode of the Sparking Entrepreneur Show. I am your host, Kiran Agrawal, signing off. You guys take care. Bye, guys.